about a week and a half ago, I had the honor of speaking on a panel at the CBN conference, which is the Cleaning Business Network conference, hosted by AJ Simmons. And at the time, there was somebody who got up and asked a question to us panelists on stage. And they asked about how do we deal with stress as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, how do we deal with stress? And somebody did answer the question with the obvious answer, which is therapy. But I wanted to acknowledge that not all of us have access to a therapist. In my case, yeah, maybe I can afford a therapist, but the thing about that is like not all therapists are good therapists. And I'm not saying like they're bad or they're good. Not everybody can fit what you need. And I'm very particular with who I work with, and I definitely need to feel like I'm being understood or getting what I need. And not all therapists are like that. That's why there are so many, and there's so many to choose from. But personally, I think it's another job to find a therapist. I mean, it is. When it comes to self-improvement, it's going to take work. So that's one thing we do need to understand, that self-improvement does take, it takes work. So we're going to have to work on ourselves. But I did want to add that even though I didn't add it on the panel, there are other ways to deal with stress other than therapy, especially if you don't have access to therapy. So I wanted to go over some of the things that you can do as an entrepreneur to deal with stress. Now, I'm going to say right now that I am not perfect. I am not a saint, and I don't deal with stress very well. I don't deal with stress very well, but I do my best. So the ways that I deal with stress these days, I don't recommend. I don't recommend the ways that I deal with stress, but there are some ways to deal with stress that I have sprinkled in outside of other things that I do to deal with stress, and I would like to share them with you, and hopefully they help you deal with stress when it comes to entrepreneurship, because being an entrepreneur is a lot of stress. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. I'm going to say, especially for people like me, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a business owner, I'm a wife. Like, that's a lot of jobs. That's a lot to juggle at the same time. And I acquired everything at the same time. I got married. The next month I got pregnant, and my business also took off during this whole situation. So I'm going to say I'm still learning how to deal with my life. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Like, it's been a jungle out here. But these are some of the things that I have been able to deal with stress. I did go into therapy maybe 2 years ago. The thing about therapy is that it's talking, and a lot of times I don't need to talk. I need to express. So one thing I did do last year was do energy healing. I did do a video with Master Tatiana. You'll find it on my YouTube channel, where we talk about energy healing. And energy healing is almost like body therapy. That's what I call it. I call it body therapy because really we're exercising out the stress. And we're exercising out the trauma. It is talking and exercising. So that is what I like about energy healing. But here are some other ways to help you when it comes to dealing with stress as an entrepreneur. All right, so some healthy ways that I deal with stress is exercising. It took me a while to get to exercising. I thought that I didn't even have time to exercise, but I'm exercising now, and I really do baby steps. So what I'm doing now was actually last year, the end of last year, I got a gym membership, and I was barely going to the gym. And I told myself I have to go to the gym more often. So what I did was make sure that I go to my Zumba class. Yes, I love to Zumba. Yes, I love to Zumba. All right, so I do Zumba. And I make sure I express all my energy out. I'm working out hard. I'm jumping real high. I'm dancing real hard. That's what I do in Zumba. And let me tell you, I feel great afterwards. It's a great way to start my day. I start it in the morning after I've made breakfast and after I've done my daughter's hair and got her ready to go to school, and they're out the door. My husband and my daughter are out the door to go to school. Then I get ready and I head to Zumba class to do some type of exercise, to do some type of cardio to get my heart moving and to take out some of that stress that we're gonna have during the day. And it helps a lot, especially dancing. If you don't have Zumba class, turn on the music and dance for about 10 minutes. You're gonna feel much better with the good vibes. Don't put that sad music on. Okay, so another way to reduce your stress is meditation and mindfulness. I'm working on the meditation part. It's been a struggle for me to want to sit down and meditate, but I do have to say that once upon a time when I was traveling, I was in Bali and I did a 10-day silent meditation where everybody's quiet. You can't speak, you can't communicate, you can't even look people in the eyes. You have to mind your own business. And I realized a lot of things about myself in that time, in that I could actually do it. You know, people think I'm extroverted and I talk a lot or whatever, but no, actually, a lot of my friends thought I couldn't handle 10 days without speaking, but it was a paradise for me. You know, and the thing about it now that I have more noise in my head, you know, I have a husband and I have a daughter and I have like more activity going on and I have a business. At the time I didn't have any of that stuff. I didn't have a business. I didn't have a husband. I didn't have kids. It was still a little bit of a challenge, but I just kept in my head that I've been through things that are harder than that. So, but it helped a lot. I learned how to meditate during that time. It's called Vipassana, which is silent meditation. It helps a lot. So I want to get more into waking up and doing the meditation thing. I think it is helpful. I'm not there yet, but I do think it is a very helpful thing to do meditation. Another thing that you can do when you're stressed out as an entrepreneur is setting boundaries. Knowing when you gotta stop doing stuff and when you can keep moving. Making time for personal relaxation, rejuvenation, and also knowing when it is your time to separate your personal life with your business life, which is extremely hard as an entrepreneur. Like, everything comes together. In my case, it does help to have a partner that understands and a partner that is a part of it, so that we both understand that we're kind of like working around the clock for the greater good of our family. But setting boundaries is really good. I used to even try to work on the weekends and not even spend time with my family. They'll go to the pool, they'll go to a friend's house, and I always stay back at home doing work. And just recently I decided that I'm going to participate with my family. Like, I don't get this time back, especially with my child, and even with my husband, I don't get this time back. So why not take some time to take the day and go to the beach? It sounds, I say it like it's a hard thing to do, because it is. But, you know, for most people, it's an easy thing to do, to go to the beach and relax and things like that. But creating those boundaries and saying that, okay, I am going to be present and be here with my family, because we're not going to get this time back. And this time is actually important. Working is important, but it's not the end all be all of things. I mean, work is always going to be there. So set your boundaries and take some time off to relax, rejuvenate, spend some time with your family. Another way to reduce stress is time management. And then listen, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the best at time management. I am actually the worst at time management. I don't even want to know about time management. I thought I became an entrepreneur so that I don't have to wake up at a certain time, so that nobody tells me what to do at any kind of time of the day and all that stuff. But if we're going to be real, if you want to be successful, you need to learn how to manage your time. And I'm in the process of all of that. I still have not learned how to really manage my time, but I am getting better at it. I do have a calendar, a planner, even with my watch, which is charging right now. I let it set me reminders and alarms and all that kind of stuff, because it's hard for me to remember. And the thing about it is, I don't want to be reminded by a device, but when it comes to push and shove, it's just come down to that. So I make sure that I set my reminders, I set my alarms, so that I can keep up with the time management. But time management is really important. All right, so another way to deal with stress as an entrepreneur is seeking support. Ooh, that's another story. So being an entrepreneur can be a lonely place. I actually like to be alone, so it's not that hard for me. But when it comes to being an entrepreneur, it feels like you have to figure out everything by yourself. So that is the hard part about being an entrepreneur, is you feel like you're on an island by yourself, which you kind of are. But seeking support from mentors, coaches, even your peers, it helps a lot. What helps me a lot is my Cleaning Business Mentors group on Clubhouse. We gather on Clubhouse every Wednesday, but I have access to these people at any time, but at the same time, I do have a mentor that I can call. And the thing about it is I need to seek out mentorship, which is a big problem of mine. Sometimes I am too afraid I feel like I'm bothering people. I feel like I'm wasting their time, but I'm really not. I really do have like the right questions to ask, and a lot of people are willing to help. I just have to put myself out there. And a lot of that is mental. A lot of that is how I grew up. A lot of that is imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't deserve to be in the graces of these kind of people. But at the same time, mentors and coaches, they want to embrace you because they want you to see you improve and get to the next level. So don't be afraid to seek mentorship. But on a sidebar, which is another podcast, like, you got to take it seriously. Don't waste your mentor's time. That's another story, and that's another thing. Your mentor wants to see you make progress. And if you don't make progress, then you're kind of wasting their time, because the whole point of them mentoring you is to make sure that you get to the next level. So you got to make sure that you get to the next level yourself. And your mentor will want to help you more the more that you help yourself. Speaking to people who deal with the same problems that I do, other cleaning business entrepreneurs, cleaning business owners, I have made and befriended these kind of people, and it has helped a lot because a lot of us deal with the same kind of problems. Another way to manage your stress as an entrepreneur is delegation. Giving the work to other people. Now, if you're starting out as an entrepreneur, that's going to be hard, because I remember when I first needed to hire somebody, and it was just a mental battle up and down. So you definitely have to go through that hurdle, but delegation is very important. You can't do it all. As much as we think we can do it all, and as much as we think we're the best person for the task. For example, when I first started cleaning, I thought I was the best cleaner. I thought nobody can clean as good as me. But how am I going to get to $500,000 cleaning by myself? It's just not possible. So you definitely have to delegate. You definitely, in my business, I have an ops manager, I have a virtual assistant, and that's just a cleaning side. And then on the other side of social media and posting and all that other stuff, I have a different assistant that can help me with content creation and things like that. A lot of it I do by myself, but it does help to delegate to the right person. The reason why I do it by myself, and I think everybody's gonna have the same excuses, it's hard to find somebody to do the work for you, especially the way that you like it. This will require a lot of patience, which I'm gonna admit that I don't have a lot of. I always say God, when he was, or she, when God was making me, it was just a sprinkle of patience. It wasn't enough. Anyway, so delegating is very important. So I have delegated. It works for me. It's hard for me to do, so I'm not going to lie about that. Another way to reduce stress is taking breaks. I am not ashamed of taking a vacation by myself, or taking a vacation with friends, taking a break, taking a day off, going to the Korean spa for the whole day, and just lounging around, swimming in pools, cold water, hot water, saunas. You're definitely going to need a break. You're definitely going to need a break as an entrepreneur. You definitely need to make time to breathe. Make time to take a break and have time for yourself. It's necessary. Healthy lifestyle choices. It's another way to deal with stress. How do you think you're going to be without stress if you eat bad? If you're eating things with high sodium, high fat, processed foods. A lot of us are eating processed foods, and that's not good for us. It's not good for your brain. You got to do things that are good for your brain and good for your gut. So with that said, you have to have healthy choices. I know we're busy all the time. I remember in the days where I was cleaning, and I would clean 4 houses / townhouses in one day, and at the end of the day it could be 11 o'clock. I'm about to clean my last place, and I go to Whataburger and I get a burger and I get a fries and I get a drink, and it's just not the way to live. You have to have a balanced diet. You have to have some form of alimentación, nutrition. You need to have the right nutrition to be able to do what you got to do. Look at all the successful people that are actually successful. They eat well, they exercise. There has to be some type of that kind of balance. So don't shy away from that. Understand that that is going to have to be in your life if you want to get to the next level. If you are good at journaling, if you are comfortable with journaling, that is another way to learn how to de-stress. So the thing about journaling is, I used to hate to journal. When I was younger, my brother and one of his friends found my journal and they started reading it and laughing about it. So after that, I kind of stopped writing. I do have to say, after those little haters were hating on me and my journal and laughing about me, that traumatized me, and I didn't want to write for a long time. But once you realize you don't have anybody to talk to because nobody else can understand what you're going through. If you go through this and you don't have anybody that understands what you're going through, journaling is perfect. So if you don't have anybody to talk to, journaling is a way to get it out. And once you get it out, you do feel a little bit better until you have other ways to deal with your stress. Another way of dealing with stress as an entrepreneur is having hobbies. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a lot of entrepreneurs that have other hobbies other than like things that they already liked. So if they already liked it, they're already still doing it, kind of like, because you're an entrepreneur, you could kind of like do whatever you want. But as an entrepreneur, I don't really have any hobbies. There's a lot of things that I do like to do that I am kind of good at. I'm good at like art. I used to make my own clothes when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, just because it was something for me to do. But I don't really have that many hobbies anymore. My hobby is like watching reality TV or watching some kind of crime TV and learning how not to get killed. Like, or how not to be in this predicament. So those are kind of things that I do. I relax and I watch reality TV. The last thing, but also a very important thing, is seeking professional help. I did touch on this in the beginning in seeking a therapist, but not only talk therapy is the only answer. There are other kinds of therapies. Like I spoke about energy healing, which is like a body type of therapy. Seeking professional help in any kind of way, whether that's a coach or a mentor or a course, or whatever that is, to seek professional help. There are professionals who know what they're doing and seek out their help, and they can help you. With that said, my entrepreneur friends, we will be all right. We're going to be okay. We definitely just need to keep going, keep finding the answer, keep finding ways to move forward and move past it and move through it. Entrepreneurship is extremely hard. It's extremely stressful. It's a different dimension of living, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So like and subscribe, my friends. And I look forward to seeing your progress, and let's keep moving forward. See you in the next video.